If somebody comes up to you and asks if you are the personification of death, that is good criteria for determining whether they will be a friend or not.
Yeah,
and also the answer is immediately yes.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who they are.
If anyone asks you if you're a god,
you always say yes. We're live, by the way. Sorry about that, folks. I apparently freaked out OBS so bad it crashed.
So continuing with Sen's introduction.
I am that which was once Sen.
Yes, let's repeat the conditions that caused the program to crash.
Look, the definition of insanity is the definition of insanity. I'm playing Ceres Artinos, Inquisitorial Acolyte.
And what is your objective?
To crash OBS by freaking it out.
I mean, you
already
yours.
Sucking the extra wrath. 4. 1, 2, postulate on the weakness of the mutant, the alien, or the renegade.
In other words, talk shit about your entire party.
Yeah.
Hey, I am neither a mutant, an alien, nor a renegade.
Talk shit about most of your party.
There you go.
That's okay. All I have to do is just talk shit about Remy, and I fulfill all 3.
No.
Look, Remy had some backstory shit come up last week, and we still don't know what's going on.
That's true. You don't know if he's secretly an alien mutant.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he is.
And as always,
You're Brew.
Black Lives Matter, trans rights and human rights, eat the rich. There's so many reasons to burn things down right now, but you probably have your own.
Yep.
Expand the Supreme Court.
Defend drag.
Yeah.
Point and laugh at Tucker Carlson.
Point and laugh at Tucker Carlson.
Point and laugh at Tucker Carlson, yes.
I'm just going to throw out the obligatory trans people are people.
Yeah. I would like to point it out.
Fire
that
from Holly.
We've got several of them here.
I said someone please set Florida on fire.
See, in the Monday night game, I said that everybody in Florida needs to go grab their hacksaws, go to the border, and just start cutting. Until they're done, and then push.
Well, see, that's the beauty though of what Holly said there is that Florida sets itself on fire regularly, so it's very easy to get that done.
There's a lot of swamp gas.
Just a little bit of push.
So
anyway,
working on it.
Right.
But when last we left off, the group had accomplished a number of things and set a couple of deals into motion, including one that was a request.
I thought you were about to say set a number of people on fire. I don't know why.
Not yet.
We're getting there.
Including one request for the Kindred of the Doomed, specifically the Hernkin Pioneer Squad, organized and led by one Imahudi. Actually, there's no T in there. To get them an audience with the planetary governor. And meanwhile, in the place that we pick up, Remy had received a alert from their door and gone to check the lookout and had been greeted eye to lens with some kind of lens on immediately through the peephole.
Someone's recording you.
I move away from the I move away from the people. Pull out a couple of the 20 auto pistols I picked up from people at this point. Like his clothes, I practically picture him walking around in just an outfit made of auto pistols at this point.
So what you're saying is Remy has seen.
At this point,
Remy has seen Cam.
Right.
I was just yeah. I was just thinking of original Trigun when Derringer Merrill with the open cloak just full of pistols.
Yep.
But
because when you're shooting Derringers, you have to have that many because they are disposable.
And doesn't open the door yet. Who is it?
There's no response.
Well,
Just
this is
a
awkward. I
ticking
can't
sound.
open a door when I have a gun in each hand. I will set one on the windowsill next to the door.
So what you're saying is that Remy needs a new hand installed,
No.
a third one.
This is
Shut
my
up, robot boy.
This is my door opening hand.
And I will
Aristarchus would be happy to install any additional appendages you require.
wait. Hadn't I already checked to see who like looked at window or was that another game where I did that?
That was a different game. That
Okay.
was when you were looking out the window for.
That's right. That was
Dina.
vampire. Never mind.
Okay, so that was vampire. Yes, that one too.
Yeah, I will set a gun down right within reach and open the door, keeping those useless ass chains that like a 2-year-old could kick through. There, it's the intent that matters. And just crack it open and peek, not like right up, like back away, peek through the crack.
There's no one there.
This is my all right. Unlock, open, look.
You open the door and you open the door and taped to the peephole is a handheld hololith projector.
Okay. I will grab it. Shut the door. Go into a back room. Activate.
And the image that you are given is immediately is a like hashed and obscured image of an individual as if seeing them through shadow. But you hear a voice that is distinctly the sort of garbled, filtered tones that you associate with Verity One.
Okay.
The second in command of Mortis Veritas. Who says, Remy Mira, it is interesting that you contacted us again. And you get the sense that this is a live feed.
Okay. Well, you know, I tend to be. Yeah, let's just drop that. Let's just drop the insinuation and innuendo. I needed to get in contact with you about a situation that's going on.
You mean your association with Imperial agents, especially those potentially purporting to be a rogue trader, but all sources indicate might in fact be an undercover agent of the Inquisition.
I can neither confirm or deny the correct information that you have just provided.
Understood. What is your
That
question?
said, we're not right now. I feel like your concern should be less about that and more about what's in your backyard right now. And your front yard.
You are referring to the agents of the known iconoclast and agent of potential heretics, Tycho Morderic.
You might want to take the potential off of that, but yes. Look, I'm not trying to fuck up your shit. I'm not trying to make anything harder for you. I'm trying to make it so that as few people get out of the situation fucked as possible. And what's going on right now is Tycho is bringing the attention and the wrath of you know who on you know where. And it's not just him, it's nobles, it's everybody.
Inquisitorial agents acting on this planet is already a cause for concern. This is true. What is your question?
I'm going to be. It's been a few weeks. Remind me exactly what.
We know
as a
that
group we were contacting.
We know that Tycho has supplies and material being stored in their territory.
Yes.
We want to get to it and take it out.
Okay.
Or cut his access off from it.
Yes.
We would like to offer our services to them to do so if it seems like they don't want to do that themselves.
We know that Tycho is utilizing resources that are contained in your territory. We know that's certainly a problem for you because it's certainly not something that you would condone. Leave a slightly dramatic pause there.
There is no response, but you can sort of take that
Yes.
as an acknowledgement.
So we want to deal with that. And we would like your help, but we at least need you to stay out of it.
You are requesting permission to operate within the confines of Mortis Veritas territory.
Exactly. If you could, not asking that, I am not personally cutting all the bullshit. I am not personally asking that you commit manpower to this, because I know that's something that you likely are not in a position to do. That said, if you could give us some up-to-date information, it certainly would not get out that you have done so. So we're hitting the right places and we're dealing with this without having to cause more chaos in your territory than we're already going to end up causing just as a natural course.
Your request can be fulfilled, but it will require a show of faith.
You know me, I'm such a person of faith. What do you need?
You are likely familiar with the mutant population that Tycho Mordoric has been stirring and directing to assault anyone that he does not feel like wasting his own manpower against.
Yes.
Mortis Veritas has been dealing with regular incursions by these creatures. They present a problem. Either
Okay.
redirect their attentions away from us or deal with them permanently, and we will allow you to operate within our territory. Once the pressure is relieved from our forces, you will be welcomed in.
All right. Can you give me specific information on where they are? What their numbers, that sort of thing.
Numbers of the mutant population seem to be in constant flux as new converts and old members thought previously dead continue to arise and emerge, even as efforts are made to cull them. However, largest concentrations of activity and likely locations for their nest, breeding ground, hideout exist on the base level, the sump, the bottom of the hive, some distance away from the known orc tribe.
Okay.
Coordinates will be provided.
Thank you. Well, I think this is a two birds, one stone situation. So yeah, I think that obviously I'm gonna have to talk with the people I'm with, as opposed to my people. Those are two different things. But I think that will be accomplishable.
We look forward to seeing your efforts. And the video feed cuts out and a series of coordinates blink across and transmit to your data pad.
Okay. Great. Fantastic.
The transmitter, after sending those coordinates, the transmitter sparks and electric current runs over it, and you're pretty certain it's been fried.
Yep. I got Mission Impossible. All righty. Well, I'm gonna go words that basic words even. I am going to contact through Mockspeed. Blair.
Yes.
Hey Blair, how are things going up there? Are you guys you guys ready to come back down and we can talk? I have news.
Yeah, I think we just finished up here.
Well, the first thing is you still need to install Laurel's new eye, and then you're good to go.
An eyeball.
Laurel needs an eye first. After that, we'll probably be good.
All right. Well, don't wait too long, but I guess it's going to be a quick eye Is this going to be a quick body modification surgery?
What can I help you with, Miss Blair?
How long does it take to put an eye in?
Well, generally speaking, usually it would be a fairly simple
the
process.
abbreviated version, Aristarchus.
Oh, I'm going to go based on contextual clues that you're speaking of Miss Laurel's eye specifically in this case.
Yeah.
Well, she is a Eldari xenotype, so there may be a bit more complexities associated with it, but I won't know entirely until I have a mechadendrite inside her ocular socket, but I'd say maybe a couple of hours.
We're probably looking at a few hours.
Unless I get very, very lucky.
Do you need all of us? Can a few of us come to you?
I have information that
Miss Blair, is that Remy on the other end?
Yeah.
You should tell him he should come up and watch so that he can see what it's like. Mm-hmm.
Aristarchus says you should come up and watch.
I mean, you can tell Aristarchus that he can, and there's there is a continuation of it, which is not probably fit for broadcast.
Blair will pause and say, he says, thank you, but he's busy.
All right.
So, meanwhile, at the Medicaid Primaris.
Yes.
Aristarchus, you lead Laurel into your operation theater.
Indeed, I do.
Indeed, I do.
Shut up.
I'm not gonna lie. There was a brief moment where I knew this wasn't going to be the answer, but I was really hoping it was going to be, how long does it take? Pop, done.
That would have been great. So, I'll have you up on the table here, Miss Laurel, and we'll get you all set up as quickly as we can.
And remember, anesthetic is heresy.
Where
She-
did it say that?
But this is Vitellius and Servius. We've got, and of course, my right hand servo skull, Yorick.
What's a skull,
Alright.
not a hand?
she
Wouldn't it-
will hop up onto the table.
Okay. Yeah. Aristarchus will prep, scrub in, pull down his normal installation ritual, and then pause for a moment. Because the ritual of implantation usually has a human body on the other end of the receiving line. So what is he going to need to roll for this?
So normally the DN for installing augmetics is the value of the augmetic you're installing, which for an I would be value 6.
Mhm.
In this case, it's going to be DN 7 because you're working with xenobiology.
Okay. Do I get multiple rolls, or is this one that I have to pull it all out in one?
You can achieve the result over multiple rolls. However, if each time you do not succeed, you will also need a Medicaid test to avoid inflicting a traumatic injury.
Okay.
If you don't surgery well, you might take out their brain.
It's fair. Right. Well, let's get everything set here then.
Scalpel.
And he
wait,
begins right, yep, and he begins to chant his ritual and attach for the eyeball.
You're gonna
He's
want to
going to
reroll
spend
that
Oh
one.
God!
He's going to spend a wrath on his first one.
Hey, look at that! You got a success. You have succeeded in one.
Right?
Well, no,
Now,
that's just 6 successes.
That's 6. I
Oh,
need
sorry,
7,
yes.
you said.
Yeah, you need one more.
Right, we're starting out fairly well. Everything seems
Now
to be going...
you can either spend your other wrath to reroll the remaining dice. Actually, yeah, to reroll the remaining dice. No, actually, you can only reroll each die once. So
Yeah,
no, you can't do that again. However, I need you now to make a Medicaid test, which is actually DN6.
Listen, I'm not saying that I'm hoping that you get like non-complications, but
Oh,
Speaking of,
I'm spending my second wrath there.
Okay, you avoid inflicting a traumatic injury.
I did get a complication, though.
Yes, which you can ignore with your machine oils.
Yes, I can. Which
Thank you
I
for
will
not
do.
killing me on the table.
Right?
I was
Now-
really looking forward to the idea that the eye was just lazy. And,
I like the image of like because of Aristarchus going whoops and Laurel on the table going what and Aristarchus going nothing.
Nothing.
Don't worry about it.
Now make me one more tech test. You only need one more success here.
Okay.
come on, 12 complications.
Holy oil, holy oil,
that's
holy oil.
physically impossible.
Boom.
All right, you have 2 shifts. What are you doing with them?
Speed.
Is this supposed to be Medicaid or tech?
It should be tech on the next one.
Oh, shit. I've been rolling Medicaid the entire time.
Hmm.
Let me start that all entirely over.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Roll it back.
17 complications, go.
All right. So roll it back. I still technically have 2 wrath. Yeah, no, tech is actually better because I get he will commune with that machine spirit inside this thing that he's creating.
Yes, you can add your archetype bonus to this.
You know what more
Right.
dice
Mhm.
gives you?
More chances to roll once.
More chances of complications.
Well, to be fair, there's only the wrath die causes the complication.
So that's 5 successes, and I get 2 icons as a result of my archetype feature.
That's
so that
exactly
is
what you need. Yes.
right. So
However-
first roll is a 7, but I don't have anything to shift.
Yeah. So if you have nothing to shift, you will take a full 6 hours to do this.
Okay. Let me. I only have 3 dice to re-roll.
But none of them are the wrath die, so you don't risk a complication by spending the wrath reroll.
That is fair. Okay. Yeah, no. It still takes all 6 hours. But I still have 1 rat left.
Yes. You easily accomplish this, but it will be a slow going process.
Yep. So yeah, probably about 2 hours in, I'll look over my shoulder and be like, I think I'm going to be here for a bit. So if the rest of you need to toddle off and find something rather than waiting around for me to get my fingers out of Miss Laurel's eye socket, I will absolutely understand.
Laurel, you are only mostly sedated, so you can't really feel anything, but there is still the awkward sensation of someone looming over your blind spot.
She's exercising every ounce of self-control not to jump anytime something shifts in her field of vision.
Fortunately, you have been thoroughly strapped down, so you can't do that.
Oh yeah.
Including head clamps to keep you from turning your head because the surgery is on your eye.
Yeah, no. Aristarchus's operating theater honestly has a very space age Dr. Frankenstein kind of motif to it.
Tina has left like an hour in. This is really boring.
Very staying to watch.
It's not even like cool loud instruments or anything. It's just, this is nothing at all. Like
Oh, the
what
instruments are
surgery-
loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was why I stayed an hour.
And like the majority of the initial process is just cleaning out the viscera from the impact crater.
Yeah.
So at about 2 hours in, you'll get Blair will get a contact. How are we doing? Are you
It's kind of slow going here.
fucking great?
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
She needs
it's
an
fine.
eye.
You know, is the other is what's left salvageable? Because that would be worth a good number of credits on the.
There you go.
You know what? I'm gonna let you ask her that.
Yes, you have indeed fulfilled
You
your objective
think,
there.
you think that I
Beautiful.
won't? I
I'm
would,
just-
but here's the thing. I would, but I feel like she's I hope that she's sedated right now.
Yes, she's sedated.
Just tell her Aristarchus if the El Salvador, don't ruin it yet, because she can get some good money out of that.
I'll mention it.
Play on the racism of the market.
Aristarchus,
Yes, Miss Blair.
Remy is asking if part of the eye is still salvageable because she can get money off of that.
Unfortunately, the round went into the eye socket and out past the orbital crescent. So whatever of the eyeball may have been salvageable is splattered across a lower street in the underhive.
Okay, she'll respond to Remy and say, Aristarchus says no.
Oh well. See, I'm trying to look out for my friends
I'm sure.
and also the people that we're working with.
Meanwhile, Saris.
Yep.
While you're waiting, presumably outside the operating theater, because I don't think you really feel the need to stand there and watch this whole procedure.
No.
I mean, we don't kink shame.
A familiar servo skull hovers its way into view.
I will
And-
step into cover so it can follow me there.
It follows, and you see it sort of hovers in front of you, and it begins to project this sort of blue holographic screen. Inquisitorial access code requested.
Flip up my eye patch and provide my code.
Access granted. Message displayed for Saris Artinos. and you see a recording of Inquisitor Eckhart appear. Agent Saris, whenever you receive this, I have updated information for you. I should be able to arrange your meeting with the planetary governor. The requisite requests will be put in shortly. However, I also have more relevant information to your mission at hand. I have received confirmation that there is another agent of the Inquisition operating under the mantle of the Ordo Xenos on planet, likely investigating the gene stealer incursion that you have already reported yourself. I am unaware as to the identity of this individual, inter-ordo politics being what they are. However, should you be able to locate and make contact with them, the information they have will likely be of interest. Knowing the proclivities of the Ordo Xenos and their agents, the governor's manner, and the event that you will be attending. Yes, it is a formal event. I recommend not bringing your less visually acceptable allies unless you know exactly what you're doing. Would likely be the ideal location to gather information about their whereabouts. If they are to be found anywhere, it will either be hunting these gene stealers in the deepest corners of the hive or among socialites, depending on the nature of the agent. Inquisitor Eckhart out. Video cuts.
Is there a subsequent data burst with the details regarding the event?
Yes.
Okay.
And you get the idea that there is essentially it's a ball that is being held by the planetary governor's house as both a welcome to rogue traders and trade envoys who have arrived, as well as the arrival of the Farron 419th.
Okay.
Because that's our planet's proud Imperial Guard regiment coming home. Deserves a celebration.
I will ponder over the information for a bit, tuck it away, step into the operating theater or wherever I can step to in order to communicate with Aristarchus directly.
Yeah.
Aristarchus, when you have a moment of automation, I have a request for you.
Very well. One moment, and he'll have the servo skulls take over this next sanitization phase. What can I do for you, Man Martinez?
It's come to my attention that there is another member of my organization on planet, though likely also operating incognito. They're here investigating the gene stealers that we dealt with earlier.
Oh.
I'd like to requisition any and all records regarding incoming unmarked vessels or incoming vessels that were not whose well, Wayne, what's the term? What's the term for
Transponder?
No. Destination of a ship.
Destination.
Well, no, there's a specific
Port of call.
No.
Landing pad.
No.
I don't know then.
We have this is something that we have on Earth with when ships go out.
Manifest flight
Port.
plan.
I think manifest plan. I think
Oh.
I think or
manifest is a list of what's on the ship.
Right. Flight plan is where you're going, but that's for a plane.
Yeah, it's whatever it is, but it's a plan for where you're going. But I can't think of what it is. Anyways, any ships who did not have this as their have this planet as their destination prior to our reporting of the Gene Stealers.
All right. Yes, I can send a database to Mum, and she can probably run that up the necessary chains to right people if there's higher authorities that need to be signing off on that sort of data release, and we'll get you all set. He'll step over to one of the side terminals and key in a number of codes, and yeah, he'll see if it would Aristarchus need to make like an intellect roll to try and requisition that, or
Yeah, just roll me intellect,
okay.
They were thinking of a ship that's clearly a float plan. By the
or
way.
roll me your influence rather with your intellect because you're dealing with mechanics.
I hate that I
Right.
said it, but it was in my head and I had to get it back.
But
Itinerary.
I'll spend my second breath. There we go.
You hear back from your mother that she'll run that data request and get it back to you shortly.
Any shifts available with that 5 or no?
No, you
Okay.
were looking for.
All right.
Itinerary is the word I was thinking. I was trying to find.
Oh, okay.
Who did not have this planet on their itinerary prior to our.
Mum says she'll get back to us with that information as soon as she's got it access.
Just nod. I'm not certain we'll find anything, but if we do, it'll be useful.
Excellent. Well, I better make sure that they have not removed more of the nerve stem than is strictly necessary for Miss Laurel's head. Servius, I'm watching you.
Like you then go off screen. You're like, well, shit. Immediately after that.
And Laurel goes,
balls.
"What?" That's where the machine oil comes in. That's
Right.
So, cutting through, is there anything that needs to be done before Laurel's surgery is completed?
I'm going to reach out to. I'm going to update our contact among the Legion, whose name I can't remember.
Jordan?
No,
The-
no, the dwarf.
The kindred. Yes.
Yeah,
The kid,
Ema.
yeah.
the kin. Yes. Sorry, it's because it's the Leagues of Votan, but no.
Yeah.
But yeah, let her know that I have a meeting scheduled for myself, at which point I will converse with the planetary governor regarding her meeting, and we'll update as I go. Just to let her know that we're in the process.
Haven't forgotten about you.
She accepts that and is happy to know.
In between getting in probably a bar fight or two, etc., Tina is asking around to see if there's any sort of talk about Nairis or whatever her name was, that hunting party thing, if she's like recruiting people, like drivers for that or anything, or like if anyone has heard of this happening soon. She's probably not using that name, so I don't know if I'll find anything about it, but she is asking around.
You know what? Sure. Roll me what skill do I want to make this?
Cunning or intimidation?
Well, there is a thing where like I can that's wealth spent. Instead of spending wealth, I can just roll basically intimidation for how or I like
For how
I can
you requisition stuff.
I can sub out my
your strength for your
strength.
fellowship, for your leadership, for your influence, yeah.
Yeah.
Glorious.
It's great.
Go ahead and roll me cunning.
Cunning. Okay. I'm
This
Not
is where
good
we
at cunning.
this is where we determine if Tina is a cunning linguist or not.
No, the answer is no.
I was gonna say, was that a question?
I got
Hey!
2 though. Proud of that.
That's half as good as you possibly could get.
Yeah.
So, with 2 successes, you hear chatter about Spire Hunters, and the idea of some of the noble houses like to get up to that kind of activity, and that's part of why we'll occasionally see a large number of bodies come into the hospital and areas around, because of that, whether they be the hunters' bodyguards or their victims.
Yep.
But you don't get a whole lot more than that. So it does definitely sound like she's still active. You just don't know where she is.
All right. That's fine. Yeah, and just getting into fights because that's entertaining.
As you just find someone to lay out.
Yeah, just sort of like wandering around, looking to see if anyone looks like they want to get in trouble too. That being a very loose definition. Want.
More like, is
Tina's
anybody
definition of want.
available to get into trouble?
Other than that, any other things that need to happen over the course of the surgery being accomplished?
Surgery.
Listen, grave robber.
Any leftover byproducts are very carefully stored and cataloged.
I appreciate how many people, myself included, clear immediately just off that knew exactly what you were talking about.
Grave robber.
Yeah, you've got the song.
Grave robber. Sometimes I wonder why I even bother.
So, and during the process, Aristarchus will check in with Blair at least once or twice on what's Remy's status and when are we expecting him back.
We need to go to Remy. He's not coming up here.
Is he like detained?
He doesn't want to come up here.
I don't know how many times this has been explained.
You'd think after 6 hours he'd be bored enough to come up here, or possibly dead.
I don't think he's dead. No,
Tacitus, put through a call to Remy Mara, please.
Oh,
Remy Mara, Remy Mara.
Aristarchus,
This is
I can do it.
Aristarchus Dactyl calling. Are you deceased? Please confirm or deny. We would like a status update.
Yes, I am deceased and talking to you right now.
Blair, Miss Blair, this is sarcasm, correct?
Yes.
Thank
Good thing
you,
you
Mr.
recognize-
Sarcastic Remy Mara. We
I
will
like
be
any
in
that
contact.
you didn't even like disengage the link. So
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
I'm glad you caught the sarcasm, because otherwise that would have been signs of demonic possession.
I was wondering if that was heresy.
Very close. Very close.
Yes, I'm still alive. What do you need? Why are you not working quicker?
Well, there are procedures on the ritual of implantation and replacement that cannot be rushed, unfortunately. Otherwise, the implant may not weather correctly with the body of the host, and then you would have a unfortunately dud chunk of metal stuck in your head, which is unfortunate and to be avoided if possible.
These procedures take your attention?
Except for the few phases when I am able to allow the servo skulls to take over for some simpler parts of the process. Yes.
Are you in one of those moments right now?
Currently, yes, but only for about another 2 minutes.
All right.
Why? Did you have a question? Is there anything I
No.
can help you?
No questions. I'm just waiting you guys to finish up.
How are you feeling?
Click.
Blair will call Remy. You know,
What?
if you're that bored and whiny, you might as well just come up here.
I am not being whiny.
You're being a little whiny.
I'm just simply calmly waiting.
And I'm saying you could come up here and talk to us while this is going on.
Okay, maybe I should spell this out a little bit. I have been getting information down here. The places and things I had to do and talk to get information make it not safe for me to go to you guys.
All right, I hear you.
He had to
you had to do places and talk to things, or you had to talk to places and do things.
He's leaving it very vague and that way on purpose.
We will be down there as soon as Aristarchus finishes. All right.
Okay. Fine. I'm totally okay with this.
All right.
I'm just confused as to why Dr. Idiot had to contact me in this particular moment.
Oh, because Saris mentioned about you being dead and he was worried about you. And don't call him an idiot.
Why would somebody say I was dead?
Because it's Saris.
I said potentially dead.
Right. She said potentially dead.
I'm getting a drink. Click. Which immediately after, that just means that he reaches over to the drink that he already had and finishes it.
I'm getting a drink that I already had.
Oh,
A
look,
drink
there it
from
is.
my counter.
But yeah, that's all Aristarchus has, unless other people project things into his brain that he might have concerns about.
How much more time can we waste?
All of it.
With that happening, we're gonna go ahead and take our break, and we'll come back at the end of the surgery.
Excellent.
In 6 hours. So
settle in for the long
Not
haul,
real
folks.
time.
Those of you that are watching live, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. And remember, when we take our break, you take your break. Stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do. Hug a dog. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. we're back. A dinosaur story.
Dinosaur story.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. So, after 6 hours pass, and right as the anesthetics are wearing off, so you just get that twinge of someone working inside your skull for a second, you have a new eye that flickers into life as you start to get video feed.
Picture here the Cyberpunk 2077 eye upgrade cinematic.
Never seen it. Okay.
She will shake her head, just sort of.
Oh, careful. Don't want to dislodge.
This is. I'm going to go with fascinating.
Important aesthetic question. Is this just an eyeball, or is it a block of metal on the side of the face?
It's a very fine ring of inset with a flat green lens. Then you can see some sort of like kind of LED maneuverability behind. The lens color matches some of the accents on Laurel's gear. But you can definitely see behind that protective lens there's some finer augmetic workings in place.
Which eye is it? I need to know because I'm updating the Hero Forge mini.
Left.
I was gonna say, I think it was the left eye, right?
Left, her left or your left looking at her?
Her left.
Her left.
Her left. Yeah.
Looking at her, it would be the right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think the implantation went quite well, and you should have pretty nearly full functionality right away.
In several places, Laurel, this eye is better and also worse than your actual eyes, because it's built to human standards, which are not up to Eldari eyes. However, it is also built with, I believe you had said, a Presense implant in. So there's a level of clarity and ability to pierce out detail that you don't have in your normal eye when you choose to use the Presense.
Did you redo her makeup around the eye or no?
No.
Yeah, you've got to redo that eyeshadow now.
Well, thank you. Fantastic craftsmanship.
Well, I figure it was better than you accidentally stepping on Ms. Artinos' fashion choices. So,
Well, I have held up the group long enough. Can we, what's the next?
Yes.
I've been.
We need to go find Rebby. He might be dead.
He's not dead. We need to go talk to him. He's got some information.
Well, first we're going to need to find Tina.
Right. Tina!
Oh, dear.
She just pokes her head out and calls.
Nowhere to be seen.
Doesn't come, no.
We've got
in
a
that
Vox
6 hours, did we get
Pro.
the data back from
Yes,
Aristarchus' mom? Okay. That'll
Uh,
just get data bursted straight to Saris. We don't need to play that. out.
Generally speaking, the only ships that really stand out from typical traffic, there were a couple of cargo lighters that came in from Ultramar and then left. There were another rogue trader ship that came in and like had some time to interact. And there was a what's the title? A Victory class battleship that came into orbit but did not actually like came into the system but did not actually stop at planetary orbit before leaving again.
Victory class battleships, are those the kinds of ships that Inquisitors typically use?
I mean, Inquisitors will use whatever kind of ship.
Yeah. Well, for my edification, then, what is the common use of Victory class battleships?
It is so the Imperial Navy's Victory class battleship is typically believed to be a modified Retribution class battleship, but it is typically a ship of the line. It has powerful guns. It is typically a product of grafting lance weapon systems onto a Retribution template to sort of replicate the Apocalypse class battleship, which is no longer in production, by replacing its broadside macro batteries and prow torpedoes with lance batteries and a Nova cannon. They are generally powerful, big, heavy gun ships that the Imperial Navy occasionally fields. These are fleet killer ships. There were exactly 4 Victory class battleships that fought in the first major battles against High Fleet Behemoth when the Tyranids first entered the galaxy. And their guns were a heavy part of that fleet engagement.
Gotcha. Okay. So then looking over the data. So either came as a rogue trader or just hot dropped onto the planet from orbit. Does it indicate how close the Victory class battleship passed to the planet? Did it pass within personal shuttle or drop pod range?
That'd be a long ass drop pod, but theoretically.
Then within personal shuttle range?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. Did anybody get left on the planet from either of the other two?
Yeah, there were several departures and boardings from the other ones. The cargo ships from the cargo transports from Ultramar seem to be dropping off a variety of things.
Okay.
And then taking off back into the 500 worlds. And then the rogue trader seemed to have done business and then left.
Did they leave anybody? Did the rogue trader report leaving anybody behind, or
not reported at the very least?
Okay, so yeah, either came in elsewhere or off the Ultramar ship, most likely. All right. Yeah, she will just go over that information while waiting for the surgery to finish, and then when the surgery finishes, well, let's go find Tina, and then. Do I have a time frame on that ball?
Tomorrow.
Go find Tina, then go find Remy, and then tomorrow I have a dinner to attend.
So,
all right.
You head out. Tina's not hard to find once you start looking around. You probably have to waive some authority and get her to not be either shot or arrested by some Steel Watch, all things considered. But you do manage to find her.
This armor is great!
After having laid out several individuals.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, Tina.
Yeah.
We need to go meet Remy.
All right.
Having seen this situation, is there a role Aristarchus could make for, does this armor have any sort of technological weak point where if we literally did have to just stop Tina in her tracks, something where you could effectively push a button and it just solidifies the armor and it's a nice orc-shaped holding canister at that point?
Wow.
I mean, it'd be real nice, and you imagine that there's probably similar things that might exist on Mechanicus armor, but this is orc tech.
Right.
It shouldn't work in the first place.
Right. So
Expecting
at
it
this
to
point,
have fail safes is asking a bit much.
okay, just wanted to check.
Stop.
Also, the swords that Laurel has now, they're they're the ones that the kinfolk use that are like they look like long swords, but the blades are orange.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
they're made of plasma.
Plasma swords. Just like my emotional support grenade used to be.
Yeah, there.
Although in this case, the blades are blood red. But yeah.
Just like your emotional support grenade will be once again.
Let's go find Remy then.
Blair will call him as we're headed down.
Yellow.
All right, we're coming to you.
All right.
Let us know where to meet.
I will send the coordinates, which are actually no. Again, there are certain people that are not coming into his home. So
Who would that be?
I'd rather not say at this particular point.
You let Tina in your house, all I'm saying.
I would say,
Yeah,
standards
Tina's trustworthy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's
That's a
true. You
sentence.
generally do know exactly where you're at with Tina.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
You never know where you're at with Saris, and that's the point.
Probably like right where the elevators are.
Hmm.
The elevator that we usually meet up at, frankly.
So you meet back at the main elevator, and all of you have regrouped. You see, Laurel has a brand new shiny augmetic eye.
Morel looking sharp.
Thank you.
You should see her new swords that she got. They're looking quite sharp as well.
I hate you with every fiber of my being.
So interestingly enough, fibers are
Nope.
a muscular
No.
tissue.
Aristarchus, stop.
All right,
It's very interesting, but we don't have time for it right now, okay?
I understand.
Let's walk. Let's walk and talk.
Sure.
Ah, Sorkin.
Yep.
And so the walk and during the what will probably be a short trip, Remy is just going to engage in random small talk babble that probably has no idea why he's doing such until we get to whatever the nearest dive bar is.
Yep.
Aristarchus will definitely engage with Remy on a very sincere basis of, oh, this is what we're conversing about.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You arrive at the Sump Rat Lounge.
I like it.
Laurel is actually going to grab Blair's wrist before we actually enter.
Mhm.
And we'll just calmly pull her to the side. The battle. Look, I'm not good at these things. She would just reach into her pack, and then you will hear a click, and a small orb with a detonator is in her hand, which she will hand to you.
Okay.
This could have gone somewhere.
And she's holding a thermal detonator.
I'm not great at these things.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right, better.
You saved me. I must kill you now.
And this is for...
Well, one, another layer of protection for other members of my party. But two, a thanks. You really had my back during the altercation. So
You're welcome. I mean, you killed the guy that was shooting at me.
Yes, but I still wanted to say thank you.
Welcome. She will awkwardly put it away.
For what it's worth, I really do admire your skills.
Thank you.
You're a very crack shot, and you've got a good head on your shoulders.
Likewise. I feel the same way about you.
I've been around the galaxy a lot, and there's not many like you.
Thank you.
Don't let everything we're going through and everything that's going on diminish any of that spirit you have.
No, don't worry about it. I've been through worse. Maybe not worse, but I've been through stuff.
Good. Also, as for dinner, I prefer steak, and then she will just walk into.
I was waiting for that. All right, Blair will follow her back in.
So, the group of you enter the Sump Rat's lounge.
Yep.
It is as dive bars get, especially for being in the Underhive. There's a smoky atmosphere. There's the smell of cheap booze and thick smoke. There is some Underhive thrash band just going ham on their instruments very badly. Occasionally getting booed by the crowd.
This is a great time to have enhanced hearing.
Congratulations, Remy. You've outdone yourself.
I do try.
I take it there's a reason why we're here.
Yeah, this is a place where we can talk and not be attracting the attention of literally everybody. So, a couple developments. First of all, I heard back from Mortis Veritas. They are willing to provide information that's going to be essential for us and let us operate in their territory if we deal with a situation that has been a problem for them, which we will also want to take care of. Tycho has apparently been using some mutants to harass them and others.
All right.
He wants them either directed somewhere else or dealt with.
That seems fair.
They're not a huge distance away from your folks, Tina.
Oh. Do I know what he's talking about?
Not really. You don't really explore like all of that. Like there's it's a massive hive. Like there's a lot of space around.
Okay.
So,
I don't know.
And we will almost certainly want to do that because I have information from another source that knows the last place that Tycho and Janae were and where Tycho's been keeping Janae most recently. And it's in Mortis Veritas territory.
Right. So we got to do job for Mortis Veritas first.
I see it more as doing a job of that we would be doing anyways. That just benefits them as well.
Yes, particularly because I've recently learned that There may be some additional reinforcements for us on planet, or at least someone whose resources and skills we can potentially make use of. And they would also be interested in dealing with this particular problem.
Wait, which particular problem? Because there are a lot of problems.
The mutants problem, I'm assuming you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, who?
Another member of my, well, not my order, but another member of my organization. Was recently come to the planet in response to our report regarding the incursion that we dealt with recently.
Well, so to clear something up,
okay.
They would have already been on planet.
Oh, they would have already been. Okay, I misunderstood that.
You suspected they were here hunting those gene stealers before you even learned they were here.
Gotcha. Okay. So then my request for information on people who recently arrived on the planet means nothing. So never mind. I probably wouldn't have done that because I misunderstood.
I had figured that you were asking for the past while, which is what I had given you.
Okay, that works. Yeah. They would have been. It seems, according to my information, they would have been here hunting the creatures that we ended up dealing with recently, and likely, as such, have been dealing with entities from below the hive frequently, or at least regularly. The issue is going to be finding them, but I've got a few leads.
Do we know anything about them?
And they are Ordo Xenos, which typically means that they're outlandish in personality and style. They are fairly unpredictable as far as their skill set in armament, and in particular, do I know anything like more specific other than that about how Ordo Xenos Inquisitors operate, or they're as individual as any other, right?
Yeah, as individual as anyone else, but Xenos tend to have a sort of an eccentric trend to them.
Yeah, hence the my previous descriptors.
And that's just the Inquisitors. Their agents are as far and wide as anyone else.
Yeah. It's also not a full agent. It's going to be it's not a full Inquisitor. It's going to be an agent like myself. Most likely, given what they've been doing, solitary.
Okay.
Though possibly also operating with other operatives that are of a bit more stealthy bent. The only information that I've got is that they're here somewhere.
Shani, is this the sort of individual, hearing this description, that Aristarchus would presume would have called on the Magus Biologus?
It's possible, though if they already have their own source of xenobiological data, they might not have needed to.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
I'm going to ask this in a way that is as respectful as possible. How worried do some of us need to be about this person?
Of the three Ordos, they are the least likely to burn you at a stake.
All right. Dope. I like them already.
Instead of taking a bunch of time to try and find people who are kind of hidden, we could just ask the Urk tribe.
We could also do that.
This is a good fight.
I mean, it's...
Well, by that logic, though, given that, as far as I'm aware, the rest of your tribe, your dig tinkers, have not been fighting those individuals that we confronted earlier.
No, well, I don't remember ever seeing the whatever you're talking about.
But if your tribe,
there.
knew where they were, they would probably already be fighting them. Correct?
Maybe.
I'm not
Unless
saying we shouldn't chase it down and ask, but just modulating expectations.
I believe what Tina was suggesting was that you could ask the tribe to fight the aliens because the tribe's been looking for good fights.
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, absolutely. Highly tactical thinking.
Yes,
there,
absolutely.
Tina. Very proud of you.
pointing the
Thank you.
orcs, pointing the Dig tribe at the issue is certainly a viable option for dealing with it, but not necessarily for locating it.
I can
Did
contact
Remy
the
tell
wa-
us? Did Remy tell us like that they were located in the sump?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't use those specific words,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But the underneath the hive in that area, I assume, is most likely a very vast area.
You're not wrong.
As a
Uh,
reminder, this is the area where you got chased by an amble.
right.
Yeah. It's very big.
You're not wrong.
I can always contact the Wastelanders. They're located around down there.
I could consult with Demegas and see if she A has anything that might help us find them, or B has anything or any suggestions on material that might help us deal with them once we do find them. She's very keen on that side of knowledge.
I feel like this isn't just a group of humans. They're gonna be, if they are, let's just say, being contracted to cause problems, they're gonna be moving back and forth. And they probably have at least some contact with Tycho. That should make them a little easier to find.
Oh, you mean since they're not just hunkered down in some crack and pulling the covers in over their heads?
And tormenting what's immediately around them, and yeah.
Hmm.
They're coming up to different places, so shouldn't be that hard to find.
Plus, if you send a big enough crowd of orcs over something, eventually you're gonna hit something.
Yes, that is true, but I'd rather not hit everything.
I mean, I do like Miss Tina's idea of incorporating the Dig Tinker tribe based on records that I've been able to scrub from history of other previous military engagements. I would say having an allied orc tribe at our backs would increase our odds of success, honestly, as high as a factor of 3 or 4.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get another rat.
It still wouldn't be as helpful as I would say 10 Aldari, but
I mean, if you've got 10 Aldari hiding in your back pocket there, Miss Laurel, I don't see why we couldn't use them as well. What are their
Okay.
names?
Can you shrink down?
actually, Shawnee, are there any contacts still left that she would be able to pull?
You know,
I would caution.
there is an exile that you know who wanders the webway in this vicinity.
What what was the name of Austin's character?
Garrison.
I will caution that the last Eldari that we worked with, aside from Laurel, was Garrison.
I don't like him.
Yes, that's
There
what
there is Ronan,
Not
who is an exile from BL10.
But if
not
you could shrink
to
down, that'd be really
Sorry, from
insane.
Ulthway. Sorry, who is an exile from Ulthway. Or
I
is it
know.
BL10? Hang on, I need to double check my notes.
Tina's under the impression that you can shrink yourself now.
Yep.
not to put too fine a point on it, but
Yes, Ulthway. Exile from Ulthway.
when as many of our party are as humanoid and as orcish as we are, I'm not particularly expecting other Eldari to be as patient, Laurel?
Because you work for Saris.
Does that count as postulating on the weakness of the mutant, the alien, or the renegade, Johnny?
Sure, why not?
Is this someone you feel you can trust?
Hope so.
An exile by the name of Ronan from Ulthway. We've had a few dealings, and while his methods can be cruel, and he very much has his own code of ethics, I would still trust having his sword on the battlefield. However, if the group does not consider this a good plan of action, I will retract my statement, especially considering Madame Artinos has already stated her apprehensions.
I'm not opposed to working with more individuals. I simply caution.
Yes.
As
yes.
I also, to be clear, in regards to my own organizational contact, I do not trust any that work within my organization. So,
Good.
to be clear, and none of you should either.
That must
Especially
be
not me.
very stressful.
Oh, you don't
for-
have to worry about
for
that,
you.
Saris.
Oh, you, Remy, I find to be a wildly intelligent individual who would never dream of doing anything to earn the ire of the Inquisition.
And see, just by saying that, you're complimenting me, and I'm immediately suspect.
Just smiles.
You all are weird. We should go into a fight with people we trust.
Were it that simple.
It is that simple.
I literally would not even be able to go into a fight with myself, much less anyone else.
You've never fought alongside people you don't know the names of.
Me?
Tina.
No, that was Tatina.
Oh.
No. I
be
usually
fair-
know the person I'm fighting's name.
To be fair, in the Dick Tinker tribe, everyone knows your name.
Yeah.
Like cheers.
Like, cheer. Damn it! I was literally trying in the process.
Sometimes you strike a blow where everyone knows your name.
Right.
Yeah. We fight each
And they're
other.
never
It's
glad
great.
you came.
All right. Aristarchus suddenly keels over and dies, and I'm creating an orc named Norm.
Yeah. See,
Sorry.
I thought you
Aristarchus
were
goes, my heart, grabs his chest and dies.
I thought you were gonna make a Woody joke there about how he was the replacement.
No.
Well, if you're doing that, I'm definitely making a cliff.
Excellent.
It's just Saris and a
We literally
just Saris and a
turned,
band of orcs.
Right?
we literally just turned with this Wrath and Glory game into Cheers in
Orc
space.
cheers.
Isn't it already?
Amazing.
All right. So, yes. Anything else other than that? To Remy.
I don't know what's happening next.
Sorry. I believe that's the gist of it. I know where we can, at least for the moment, we're going to have to act quickly. Because we're going to want to get into Tycho moves regularly.
Smart.
And this is moving Janae regularly.
This is also why I am inclined to seek out the agent on planet. The Ordo Xenos is known for their within the organization is known for their ability to track, particularly.
And we can find them quickly.
Well, I have a meeting in the Upper Spire tomorrow. It's a party of sorts that the planetary governor is hosting. I'm intending to be there both to broker a deal for our kinfolk allies in exchange for their weaponry and armaments, and also to gather some additional information on my colleague. So, this is an affair that I am most well equipped to do alone. So while
Dare
I'm
you
doing
go
that,
off on your own.
yes, into the most dangerous place on the hive.
I
would
suggest you
never.
bring someone with you.
Looks at the group of you.
Laurel.
No, actually, I would suggest Blair. Blair's seen us, and
Blair, are you
And-
opposed to wearing fancy clothing?
I've done it before.
Then, if you'd like, you should come with me.
All right.
But anyone else would stand out too much. And I feel like Remy's skin would rip itself off.
Told you I'm not corrupted.
So, what was that, Jeremy?
So I told you I'm not corrupted. My skin is not in the process of trying to remove it. So
Oh, no.
Making a joke.
I understand that entirely, but if you were around that many members of the nobility and upper class at once, the revulsion you get in my presence alone, I'm surprised you haven't run for the hills, but amongst that many people, I feel like your skin would take off without the rest of you.
yeah.
Interestingly enough, there are no hills within probably about a solid.
We're aware,
300
Aristarchus.
Yes. But if we're worried about people's skin ripping off at a dangerous dinner that you're going to, I would suggest bringing your medicus along.
Metaphorical, Aristarchus.
I see.
I'm not opposed. All
I love
right.
that complication on fellowship.
Yep. Look, Aristarchus has been busy doing a thing that none of you have been watching, so he's a little distracted.
I can tolerate it perfectly fine, but if I don't have to, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. So, and if less people is better, then less people is definitely better.
Less people is better, and as I understand, and having you interface with the lower hive is probably the better use of your skills anyway.
Fair enough.
I'll go with Remy then.
So,
the two of you make sure to keep your Vox speeds on.
Wait a minute. Where am I going?
With Remy. Or with Aristarchus. There
So
we go.
tomorrow-
Right. Where are we going?
So- tomorrow,
To interface with the lower hive, like Miss Artino said.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
there hadn't been a plan made, Aristarchus, I think, just jump. Aristarchus, are you busy with something?
As he's just prodding over this very ornate shotgun that he's sort of set on the table, but is trying to use his body to shield from, the rest of the bar. Just a little bit of equipment maintenance.
Seems like you're only half paying attention to the conversation.
I'm paying as much attention as I always do, generally, I think. I haven't quantified my attention schematics recently, actually. That's a very good point. I should do some self-diagnostics.
Please prioritize that and turn to the rest of the party.
So just to clarify,
Aristarchus puts the shotgun back in its reliquary and then just sits back, and you can just hear. Yeah.
I love
just
having
to
a member of the
clarify,
party.
I'm not. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I love having the member of the party that I can very politely tell to shut up several different ways.
Yeah. So just to clarify, we're not just wandering randomly into the lower underhive.
No. Again, Aristarchus seemed to have only been half listening.
All right. Just want to make sure.
While Blair and I are gathering information and brokering deals tomorrow, is there any aspect of the information you received that would be investigable?
Not until all of the information requires going into investigating it. Really requires going into Mortis Veritas's territory, and we shouldn't do that until we've accomplished what they've asked of us.
I mean, more in regards to investigating the mutant attacks, though.
I'm gonna go talk to Naf.
I guess we're going to go talk to the orcs.
Or if you had any other contacts or places that you might ask about regarding
Not
that.
in that sort of thing necessarily. I mean,
Naf has a rocket pack.
I'm sorry, is Aristarchus going with you to talk to the orcs?
Oh, absolutely. I've been once before.
And
It's
who's
okay.
going?
I will go with. I will make sure Aristarchus makes it out fine.
Okay, don't you kill Aristarchus.
All right. So,
Claire, I'm offended.
Remy
will
would never
come
do
for you.
that.
so let's codify this. Myself and Blair going to the Upper Spire.
Mm-hmm.
Tina, Remy, Aristarchus going to the Orcs.
Right.
Laurel, would you like to contact this Ronin and see if their services are available? Even if they are not at Blade, we should necessarily trust wholesale extra ammunition and firepower in our current endeavors will not go amiss.
I'm going to need to replace that grenade.
I'll get you one.
Oh, thank you very much, Miss Tina.
I will see what I can do about contacting him. It's probably been about a century since we've talked. But, I'm sure he's fine.
Honestly, I think it's been at least a century since Mum talked to her siblings too, so it's probably all right. And like her job is talking to people, so.
Matter of fact, Laurel, you can probably find the webway entrance that is hidden on this planet relatively quickly, but you would have to go alone.
There is another alternative. It is slightly more dangerous, but will be much more direct.
And you know that Ronan mostly stalks the webway around this area, and you would be able to find them if you can make it to that door.
Well,
It's fine. Go suits me better, at least for this particular mission.
then tomorrow, it sounds like we have a very busy schedule. Remy, in case you're interested, and as part of the trade agreement with our kinfolk, I have intended to acquire for you a bolt revolver, if that's of interest to you.
Sure.
It
You
seems
you do have at least one gun, right, Remy?
Yeah, I got one.
And another one. And another one. And another one.
At least one.
It's Warhammer 40k.
Second.
If we're not wallpapering our homes and guns, what are we doing?
Interior decorating 101.
Look, Mordaka is not just a military phrase for the orcs, right?
It's a lifestyle.
Right.
Orcs are gender DACA, as well as
Right.
DACA sexual.
It means Modaka.
For the rest of your day.
Oh no.
It's our problem-free philosophy. A DACA.
Tune in next week for the musical episode.
Tune in next week to see Jeremy's aneurysm manifesting in real time.
If I ever play an orc in war in fuck the system that we're playing,
Wrath and Glory.
in Wrath and Glory, I am definitely making them a character that rewords Disney songs every episode.
Of course you will.
Face. Okay. So, is it evening, Johnny? At
Yes,
this point?
it is
Yeah.
relatively into the evening at
Well
this
then.
point.
Let us break for the evening then, and go about our various tasks tomorrow. Look over at Blair. Blair, do you have formal clothing, or should we get that for you tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna need to acquire it.
Then you and I shall go to the other Spire and acquire some formal wear. I believe I should be able to get us something fitting of a rogue trader envoy and assistant. And then we shall retire for the evening. Any objections?
It's good.
I
Nope.
mean, I could object just to be contrary, but
And certainly you would, of course, if you weren't afraid of wasting our time.
All right.
Very well.
And break.
Laurel, a moment.
Yes.
Let's pull Laurel aside. Since you are operating alone, tomorrow, it felt appropriate that she'll pull out that stone and sort of offer it to Laurel. It has brought me some amount of luck. This is the stone with the Eldari mark.
Yeah, I'm. Julia's trying to remember. It has the specific craft world symbol for Ulthway on it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
This is the first time you've seen her actually laugh.
Is it funny?
No, sorry.
No, please feel free to laugh or explain.
No, it's just an interesting coincidence that's the stone you have. She will take if it is offered.
Yeah.
The individual I'm going to talk to tomorrow is actually an exile from the craft world this is from.
Well, then mayhaps it will give you. Mayhaps it will aid you in your inquiries.
Here's hoping.
Well,
Stay close to Blair tomorrow. If, for any reason, things begin to go ugly, get out of there as quick as you can. I am aware that you know how to take care of yourself, and Blair is an exceptional marksman and great in a pickle. But me not being there to fulfill my duties to Lord Tandris, please exercise an immense amount of caution tomorrow.
I will, Laurel, and I thank you for your concern. She does give you like a small smile.
What happens when two emotionless people try to talk to each other? I do, or I have grown to. I have grown fondness for the majority of you. So I do not want to see any of you die.
I have no intention of dying until my duty is fulfilled.
And she will just sort of awkwardly pat your right shoulder and then walk away.
of the amount of awkward lesbian energy in this show. It's just full to the brim.
So, you've all got jobs to do tomorrow.
I do take Blair into the upper hive to get appropriate clothing for both of us.
Easy enough to do.
Yeah.
Aristarchus heads back to the Medicae Primaris, and any spare time that he has from his rest cycle, he'll find a tech station and continue working on the shotgun.
Mm. So let's start off with Laurel. As you make your way into the depths of the Underhive the next morning. Walking past paths and passages that the Monkai would not even recognize were such, or their sense of direction is not what yours is. And as you creep through crevices and find your way down to the surface of the planet, you find an ancient door that has been hidden even during the wars on this planet, and slip through into the labyrinthine dimension that is the webway. These secret passages are how your people have stayed alive for so long. This ancient arcane dimension that borders on the warp but exists separate to it allows for the traversal through and across the galaxy without being seen, and allows the transition from place to place. And your instincts tell you that it's only a matter of time before you find who you're looking for, or more accurately, until he finds you. As you make your way through the labyrinthine paths and tunnels of the webway, you less hear but more sense a presence as a masculine Eldari voice reverberates through the tunnel around you. I see the wandering corsair has made their way back into the tunnels, and I suspect you wouldn't do so unless you had need of my assistance.
I've tried not to rely on you as much as I can, considering our past.
Come now. We are all children of the old ones. Tell me what it is you need. And as you turn, you behold Ronan. An outcast, a ranger, a wanderer of the hidden paths. Ronan, as an Eldari, has pale white eyebrows and hair that has mostly been cut short and bald across most of the head, except for a high ponytail that has been pulled back behind his head that reaches to about mid-back. Dressed in long, dark brown robes with black cloth accents that reflect his home world, and a long rifle slung over his shoulder and a blade at his belt, as he seems to slip out of the crevices and shadows of the webway to greet you.
There is the subtlest twitch of her left hand as she stops the reflex to reach for a weapon.
His eyes, as you see them every time, are pure silver, which is not a common coloration, but definitely one of many that fall within the Eldar's range.
I'm not sure what you know of this hive world.
I've walked its shadows from time to time, and there are many things lurking there.
Then you're aware of the threats.
The shadow in the warp has its beacon placed It's only a matter of time before the fleet descends upon the world and devours it.
Which is what I wish to prevent.
You think there's something worth protecting on these Monkai?
Yes. I can't. And I'm hearing my mother's voice in my head. I can't place it. I don't know what it is. Something drew me here. There is a reason that I am on this planet. There's a reason that these individuals I am working with have contacted me and are working with me. Outside of duty to my current patron, there's something more here. And this world is in its infancy. You and I both know the devastation they can wreak. And I do not wish for this hive world to be yet another on the unending list of the Tyranids.
The words you speak would be considered blasphemy to our home worlds and our craft worlds. They would call you a fool, a madwoman, to place the lives of even a single Monkai above any one of ours, especially your own. But perhaps you don't care what they think anymore.
I didn't care for millennia ago. I don't care now.
Then
Their
perhaps, if you
mean-
think you're ready, then perhaps it's time that you walk the path of the outcast.
I think it is time.
Come with me. I've been waiting for this moment. I will have you properly equipped for the path you will now walk.
I thank you. I know you and I have had our differences over the centuries. But I thank you. And
I have had my differences with my own sister, and that resulted in her ultimate end. I will not forsake another.
if the tools and the skills you give me can save the lives of one of these individuals I'm with, it will be worth more than any of the help I was given on Bieltan.
Very well. Then be prepared to walk in the shadows, for that is where your path will lead. Follow, if you can. And he turns and slips off into the webway.
She will follow after.
Meanwhile, let's go with Blair and Saris. You've got a party to attend. What do your formal outfits look like?
What color is yours? She wanted to get something red. No, that works. She's gonna get probably then like a gold dress with red trimming and floor length, very formal, appropriate neckline, slit going up the side. It makes a statement. And she will be wearing her hair completely down and just she will make sure she cleans her hair, which she doesn't always do beforehand.
Two of you gone.
Oh, sorry. Before they go in, she just wants to clarify with Saris what are we looking for? What are we asking about?
Regiment.
Do you know if all the houses will be here?
I mean, this kind of affair will typically be attended by someone from every house, but who knows?
All right. I'm going to tell you right now. Let's just say I have history with House Gantu.
It's the one that your Spire hunter's from.
Yes, I will keep everything civil. I just want to let you know. It depends on which member.
And to be quite frank, it was years ago. It may not even they may not recognize you immediately unless you make yourself obvious to them.
Yes. They may not even recognize me.
Generally.
All right. All right. I don't think anyone, if it's the person I'm thinking of, I don't think anything would be done at an event like this. No, it wouldn't. It's something I'd like to deal with. Thank you. All right.
So you enter the courtyard just outside of the planetary governor's manor, and manor is perhaps an understatement for a building like this, seated in the upper spires, where the atmosphere is thin and enclosed in a glass dome just to keep air dense enough for people to breathe easily without the need of respirators. This, despite the height that this building is placed upon, this structure is the size of what would modern day be a small castle. It is enormous, multi-structured, towered building with gratuitous amounts of gold and eagle work and other forms of imperial office symbols sort of decorating everything. It is nothing short of a giant gold eyesore. But as you enter, you have arrived seemingly at about the same time as a chimera full of Imperial Guard. Chimeras being an impressive vehicle. This is a troop transport, like a full tracked troop transport, heavy metal armor with a large turret gun on the top that sort of digs up some of the ground and turns to allow the back door to swing down with a thud that draws the attention of onlookers as a squad of 10 in full parade gear Imperial Guardsmen sort of step out in regiment and form like two 5-man lines on either side of the Salamander's ramp, descending which are 3 figures: Colonel Alicia Varys, Major Alexander Valeros, and Commissar Ira Vendors. Yeah, that was Justicar, or not Justicar, Arbitrator Justine. Most people keep a ceremonial sidearm, so yes. Oh yes, it has the icon of the Adeptus Arbites on it, which is already a sign. But the onlookers seem suitably awestruck by the show of Imperial organization.
I just realized that I've been muted in OBS for the last little bit, so sorry for anybody listening to the conversation that Holly and I just had and only heard half of it.
Oh, damn.
Whoops.
Something. We're dealing
technical
with
difficulties. But yes, the majority of the onlookers seem suitably impressed by the show of Imperial might and skill and organization as the troops sort of form a parade rank for these 3 officers to walk through and then spread out across the courtyard, basically acting as security detail for the officers in case anything dangerous happens. As they enter, they are announced, and you hear their names being called to all in attendance inside. And you know that you're already on the list, so you are just walking forward and entering, assumedly, when you're ready to go.
Yeah, unless there is like unless me getting announced is a thing I'm expecting to happen, I'm just entering.
Yeah, I mean, you are expecting it to happen. That's a thing that you would expect in this kind of situation.
Oh, well then yes, I will enter as indicated for someone who would be announced.
Yes. So the 2 of you enter, and your name is announced across the sort of main ball area that is sort of spread out across this massive sort of entrance hall. Entering now, rogue trader envoy Ceres Artinos and company. And you see a number of heads turn to sort of see who is approaching.
Walk in with all the bravado it is possible for me to muster in this guise. / would be appropriate to muster.
So you make your way down through, and as you sort of look around, it's quite obvious who the planetary governor is. Because sitting sort of on the far end of this chamber on a large throne on a raised platform is a lone individual sitting on their massive overwrought chair, headed with a golden eagle at the top. This individual would be Planetary Governor Lorik Ferrum, the head of House Ferrum and the ruler, for all intents and purposes, of Pharaoh Tenebris.
Can you spell that for me?
Yes. Planetary Governor Lorik Ferrum. He has the sort of sculpted appearance of a sort of Roman era plutocrat to a certain extent. He's got the sort of lithe and delicate frame of someone who has never done any work in their life and has spent almost all of their time and effort making sure they look immaculate. They have sort of this like pale, lightly tanned skin tone, with sort of like a short, like golden brown Anastoli hairstyle, with the sort of laurel wreath that is typically associated with worlds close to Ultramar. Which this is just outside of the 500 worlds, but it's still a kind of gauche to be wearing that when you're not actually part of the 500 worlds. But he seems to think that he's worthy of it. And dressed in that sort of very ornate, halfway between a toga and like a greatcoat, where it's sort of flowing white robes with like heavy leather pauldrons and like extra sleeves and ornate ornamentation hanging from it. His eyes are sort of this sort of watery gray color that is sort of look dull in the sense of not really paying attention to anything around him. And as you get a good look at the planetary governor, that is where we will end the week.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.